What is up, guys? We are back with Stumped for Answers. It's your host, Zed. We have our co host, Vase, and we have a special guest. Vase, can you please do the introduction?
It's customary, baby. We got one of my best friends, if not, scratch that. We got my best friend, Mr. Omkar Rajay. We went to UC Berkeley together, roommates, would play cricket in the hallways. Both weren't that great, but we had a passion and love for the game. And everything in life we always aligned on, except one thing, and that was India and Pakistan cricket, baby. So I'm excited to
100%,
announce my
bro.
best friend, Omkar. Omkar, take the flag out, man. Come on, do the honors.
Let's go.
Very nice to have you on the show, Omkar. Obviously, your team has had better luck than ours, or they've had a better run in this tournament, let's say. India has gone undefeated in the group stage. They beat New
As
Zealand.
usual.
Yeah,
hmm
they beat New Zealand. I think I saw a stat recently before the Champions Trophy that out of the last like 38 group games India's played in international tournaments, they've only lost three. So they were like 35 and three, which is amazing. Like, props to you guys for
hmm
handling the business in the group stage. We
Thank you
do
so
have
much.
the two big semifinals. India took care of New Zealand. Two big semifinals. We have Australia versus India, which is tonight or tomorrow morning, which is the big one, and New Zealand versus South Africa. I think we'll cover the Australia India one first. Um,
hmm
what are your guys' thoughts, predictions, key matchups? What are we thinking, guys?
Wes, you want to take it first?
Yeah, I can take it first. Guys, this is a rematch of the 2023 World Cup final that took place in Ahmedabad. India, Australia, and we know what happened last time. However, India is too far skilled. Australia is skilled too, but Australia, as we've been mentioning in these podcasts, are missing, the top five, top six players, and India is just too experienced, too skilled, and I know India wants the revenge. So I'm predicting India blowing Australia out of the water and reaching the final. Omkar, let's hear your thoughts, man.
I'm predicting exactly the same thing. I think India's batting order is just insane, because we got Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Kohli, KL Rahul. We're deep, we go all the way down to Akshar Patel, who can also bat, right? Shreyas Iyer, he's given you a half century literally every game. And on top of that, our bowling unit is insane as well, especially the Dubai pitches, which are, suited for spinners. And India has always been known for a team that produces great spinners, right? And you saw with the New Zealand match, Varun Chakravarti who took 5 wickets, right? So we have great spinners with Akshar Patel, with Kuldeep Yadav. So I think we've a complete unit. And right, obviously we're missing Bumrah. So he's probably the best bowler in the world right now. But I think Mohammad Shami and Harshit Rana will also pull their weight. So I think we have a great all-round team. So I'll always support India, and I would say 80%, I think India will win. Um,
Yeah,
20%, yeah, go ahead.
no, I think you made some
Mhm.
great points. I think India is
Mhm.
probably the strongest team in this tournament. They're hands down the favorite here, especially in Dubai with their batting obviously very deep. They have Akshar Patel batting at five, Rahul at six, Jadeja, Hardik Pandya, and Shreyas Iyer. I saw a stat today in ICC tournaments. In white ball, his average is 60. I think he's had five fifties and 200s. So he's been one of like their rocks at number four. Their bowling on these Dubai pitches, I think, is probably unmatched. I think they're gonna go ahead and play four spinners again, like how they did
Right.
against New Zealand. And you saw New Zealand, I think, was 121 for three, and then collapsed to 200 all out because of their spin. Their
Right.
guys are bowling in the depths, like in the depth, like Kuldeep Yadav and Varun. They're like the ball was spinning a foot on that pitch against New Zealand. So I think they're
Mhm.
definitely the favorite. Maybe a little unfair because the pitches are so worn down and favored
Right.
to
Right.
India. But I heard they're playing on a new pitch tonight, so
hmm
let's see.
Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
I mean,
Also, just want to make one comment. Is I think Hitman I think Hitman's going for a century because if you
Hitman,
recall that,
okay.
I'm telling you, because if you recall that
Okay.
2023 World Cup,
Hmm.
Hitman's job is to come in, he opens power play, attack. He
Yeah,
attacks,
100%.
and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he does a great job because the person on the opposing end, the other opener, it
Hmm.
puts less pressure on them to go strike. So Hitman's in
Hmm.
there, he's doing his thing. Striking for four to sixes in the first, 5-6 overs. I know power plays 10 overs, and he lets Shubman Gill play his game. Now that's a big
Yes. Yeah.
difference between senior players in India and senior players in Pakistan. Because
Great
senior
point.
players in Pakistan want to stat pad, senior players in India
Hmm.
want the damn trophy. And
Yeah.
if you recall that World Cup final, Hitman was coming out smoking, and
He
I don't
was.
recall how many runs did he score that
I
game
think he
in
had
the
like
final.
40. I think he had 40 and they were rolling. Like they had 90
Yeah,
runs and like
Hmm.
11 overs. And when he got out, the switch was flipped. Everyone went to defensive
Right.
mode. So
so the reason I bring that up was because I was here at the gym and one of my Indian friends was like, what was Hitman doing? He's stupid. He should have played, more safely, kept the wicket. And I'm like, listen, you should be glad and you should pray that you have a player like this who doesn't
Right.
give a damn about his stats. He does it for the team.
yeah,
So I
Hmm.
he's
think
fearless.
he's
Yeah,
fearless, and I
100%.
feel
Yeah.
like that fearless will result in a century tonight, and he's gonna take his revenge because there were a lot of naysayers on social media going against him. In person, when I met people, so I think this is the time for Rohit Hitman to shine again, and he will shine bright like he always does.
Yeah.
I'm actually a
So,
big fan of Rohit Sharma. Sorry, because like
mhm.
his aggression, like I think, like you said, team first mindset, and he takes the pressure off everyone else. If he gives you a quick 50 off 25, 30 balls, I think the game's changed right there and flips it into
100%.
India's
Yeah.
direction. Go ahead, Omkar.
Yeah, so I think here we're gonna draw some parallels with Pakistan. I think the strike rate is what matters, right? And so Rohit Sharma is the one who takes our strike rate to like the stars pretty much, right? And so it's not about, playing dot balls in the beginning and, being tentative. And that's what I feel the Pakistani players do. What you guys need is a guy like Hitman who doesn't care about the score, the dot balls, nothing, who just fearlessly plays and just smacks the ball. And that's what Rohit Sharma does, and he sets the tone for the rest of the players. And then of course we have Kohli who comes to anchor the innings, to slow things down a bit. But besides Kohli, we've got players who can just accelerate. We got match winners, every single player that I name from, let's say, the first all the way to the sixth, seventh order batsmen are match winners. That one guy can literally flip the whole tone of the game, right? And so that's why I'm quite confident with the Indian team.
On the other
So,
side, I think we should cover some match winners on Australia. Travis Head, I think,
hmm,
is the
yeah,
guy that we need to cover because he
right.
was the guy in the 23 World Cup where Australia were chasing a small total, but they were in trouble. And he came
Hmm.
out
Early on,
and
yep.
he plays his shots too. He's like Rohit Sharma as well. He can
Yes,
literally
yes.
take the game away from you in 5 to 6 overs with his ruthless aggression.
Mhm.
He just goes after it from ball one. So I think those two guys are key to their team. If
Right.
Travis Head gets out early, I think Australia is very vulnerable. They
Hmm,
Hmm.
lost
yep,
their
I
other
agree.
opener short as well, so he's not going to be playing in the game
Right.
tomorrow. Regard in bowling, I think Australia's key X factor is Zampa. Their pace attack is completely
Hmm.
depleted. No
Hmm.
Stark, no Cummins, no Hazelwood. So, what do you guys
Yeah.
think is head in for a big score tonight?
I'm gonna say no.
Same. I'm gonna say no, but I'm gonna say is Marnus Labuschagne. You have to watch out for this guy. I think he is gonna be the game changer for Australia. Not Travis Head this time. That's what
Okay,
I believe. Yeah.
And
Labuschagne.
I think for India too, I think their game plan going in and something that'll be a big win for them within is
Hmm.
once they get head out. Once they get
Yes.
head
Yeah.
out, and I think they want him out, within the first few
Early,
overs when he
yeah.
comes in
Hmm.
early.
Hmm.
They're in for blood.
They're
They
in for
literally
blood.
want his head out.
Exactly.
They want to cut his
Yes.
head off for what he
That's
did,
the
I
one.
swear. And
Yeah.
this is
100%.
the perfect
Yeah.
stage to do
Yeah.
so.
I think
Exactly.
if
Yeah.
I think if India's bowling to head, I think in the power play they bring a spinner on and try to get him out. Someone like
Hmm. Hmm.
Varun Chakravarti or Akshar Patel, a
Yeah.
smart bowler who's going to hold the length back and try to make him play a false shot. I think that's going to be their
Right.
strategy because he is strong against pace.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna add
Exactly.
one more thing too is that was a great point that you brought up, Zaid, is that, within the first 10 overs, India will bring in a spinner. Now, I hate to bring this back to the India Pakistan match, but in the India Pakistan match as well, the first 10 overs went all to Shaheen and Naseem. The most
Hmm.
effective bowler you had bowling was
Was
Abrar,
abroad,
and
yeah.
they didn't use them,
Hmm.
to break any partnership, and to
Right.
attack the first 10 overs. So I obviously India's played 3 matches already on that pitch.
Hmm.
If they're using a different pitch, they played 3 matches on that ground. So they're used to the pitch. Obviously, they know what 11 to play.
Hmm.
So I do expect India to win this match, and expect them to win it convincingly.
Right.
However, there's always that chance where we've seen it with India in the past: 2019 World Cup, 2017 Champions Trophy, 2022 T20 World Cup,
Hmm.
2023 World Cup, where they get to these group stages and they're playing amazing throughout the group stage, and then when they get to the knockout, they choke the game away.
Yeah.
So that's something that
Yeah,
that you
that's the
have to
thing
keep
with
high on the radar as well. Yeah.
Australia, man. You can never count them out. They always have these guys who are fearless too that like step up during the big games. Josh Inglis is another guy I would be aware
English, yeah,
of.
he's going off.
Yeah. English.
Alex Carey is very good. These guys are good batsmen. They have Steve Smith too. I mean, I think he's in for a big one too. If he stays,
Yeah.
bats for 15, 20 overs, he can definitely get a century as well and flip the game. But
Hmm.
I do think at the end, I think it's India gonna go through. I think it's gonna be a close game though. I think whoever bats first puts up 260, 270. I think wins the game.
Hmm.
We've been seeing it's hard to chase. I mean, India makes it hard to chase if they bat first and put 260, 270. I think Australia is gonna lose by 25, 30 runs, the way I look at it. But
Yeah.
you never know.
I
Go
actually
ahead.
hope that I hope that India chases. I think that I feel I've more confidence when they chase, you know? I just feel like sometimes they get complacent when they're playing, you know, Kohli doesn't really know how many runs to
How
put.
many
He
runs to
gets
hit?
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets out from for like 10 or 15 every single time we bat first. But when
Agreed.
he chases, he has that mentality, that winner's mentality.
Yeah,
So
he
I
is
hope
better
that yeah.
chasing for sure. Virat Kohli when he's
Yeah.
chasing.
Hmm.
He has a lot of his hundreds in ODIs when he's chasing.
Right.
And I
So
have one question for the both of you as well.
Hmm.
So this is a high profile match, high pressure match, India, Australia. Which team do you think is going in with more pressure? And do you think our South Asian teams, whether it's India,
Hmm. Hmm.
Pakistan, Bangladesh, you have Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, just the Asian teams,
mhm.
do you think that we have more pressure when we play just because our population's more into cricket? Because I feel like Australia, they're the aura's crazy, they're a bunch of
Right.
dogs, but in the
Hmm.
back of their head too, it's like if they lose, they're not gonna come home walking around, wherever they live in Australia, people are gonna start going off on them. Whereas I feel
Hmm.
like India, Pakistan, these countries, they're such cricketing nations
Hmm.
that it just adds times 100 pressure onto them. Is that something that you guys agree with, or
I'm gonna say
what do
something
you think?
controversial. I'm gonna say something controversial. I think the team that has the most pressure, hands down, is Team Pakistan. Hands down, more than any other team I think in this world. Because honestly, I think more Pakistanis, like almost the whole population of Pakistan, is into cricket. If you ask any random Indian, not everyone, I would say, is into cricket. And I feel like the Pakistani management, all they've done so many mistakes that they've put this pressure on them, and it's accumulated over the years. I feel like at least India has delivered, maybe not all the time, but at least they've delivered sometimes. I think Pakistan, they haven't played to their potential because look, your guys' bowlers, I have to admit, are scary. Because every single time there's an India versus Pakistan match, I never go into it thinking that India's gonna win 100%. No one, not many Indians go into it thinking like that. So everyone always has these certain expectations for Pakistan, and then they fall short. And then the next tournament, they get more pressure and more pressure and more pressure. So
uh,
I would say, yeah.
in terms of this game, I think India has the more pressure, like they're in more pressure, 100%,
Hmm.
because Australia has nothing to lose. They don't have their main guys. Their ODI captain isn't playing. Um,
Right,
a lot
right.
of the big guns aren't playing. So I think they're in a kind of a win-win situation where, oh, like they lost to the best team.
Hmm.
Um, and if they come out and win, give a surprise performance, then everyone's going to be like, oh, damn, like, look what they did. So I think India
Australia,
has the
Australia.
more pressure. And that's, I think, how it was in the 23 World Cup, too, right? They were playing at home
Hmm.
in front of 100,000 fans. You could not see a single Australian jersey in the crowds. And
Right, right.
they ended up, as Pat Cummins said, they silenced the crowd in 2023. So
Mhm.
I think Australia is definitely playing pressure free in this situation. They don't have anything to
Hmm.
lose.
Yeah.
But do you think that India's T20 victory last year maybe eased the pressure a little bit? What do you think about
No,
that?
no,
You
no.
don't think so?
I don't,
Okay.
dude. Because I mean, I always make this point. T20 and ODI are two and the different formats of the game. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like T20, a lot more luck plays into it, whereas I feel
Hmm.
like ODI skill. And whenever we think of World Cup, when I think of World Cup India, I only think of '83 and 2011. When I think of World Cup Pakistan, I think of 1992, not that 2009 World Cup. And I know you
Right.
for sure don't think about that 2024 T20 World Cup
Yeah,
either.
the thing is
Hmm.
Yeah.
with T20, I think it's like Vasa said, it's anybody could have their day, right? Like a
Right.
guy
Right.
can come in and hit like a set 50 off uh 15, 16 deliveries. But in ODI, I feel like it's more strategy. And that's where
Hmm.
Pakistan, I think, is lacking compared to India. They have
Right.
I've
Right.
always like talked to my dad about this because we were always talking about Pakistan cricket. We're both nerds about this. And like if you see teams like Australia and India now, they have guys on their team that are specifically looking at data analysis of each player, like their opposition, like where to bowl to this guy, what's his
Hmm. Hmm.
hot zones, where do we try to
Right.
get him out, what is the pattern, where is he getting out? Does Pakistan have that kind of team? Are they investing in that kind of infrastructure to
Hmm.
give their
Hmm.
players like actually develop strategy? Because you see when India
Right.
comes to the ground, they have a strategy. You see when Australia comes, they have a strategy. Pakistan, they
Hmm.
come into these big matches, no strategy. Their captain seems like he doesn't know what's going on. Like
Right.
Rizwan, I think had a horrible tournament as a captain. Like whatever
Yeah.
he did leading up to it, everyone was talking. Vasa and I were like, "Oh, he's a great captain. He's making good changes. Like he's changing
Hmm.
the field around. He's aggressive." Like you see Rohit Sharma, like 2 over something goes around, he makes changes. He keeps slips in. He keeps the fielders up close. You gotta like keep the opposition on their toes with the bowling changes, the fielding changes. I think
Hmm.
that's where Pakistan's lacking. They're just behind on strategy and tactics. What do you guys think?
100%. I think Rohit Sharma makes the right field moves all the time. He's always communicating. I feel like he's always communicating with all the players. Sometimes I don't really see Rizwan maybe communicating with everybody. Probably doesn't make the right field moves as well. And another thing is, I think with Rizwan, his strike rate was pretty much atrocious, you know? So the game was lost right there.
Oh
Um,
yeah, we talked
yeah,
about that.
the game was lost right there. You know, it's not really about how long you stay on the pitch. It's about your strike rate. That's what wins games, you know? And that's I guess the difference between Rohit Sharma. He has a more aggressive mindset, whereas I think Pakistan has a more, let's not ruffle any feathers. Let's just try
Hmm.
to get through this. That's
Vasa,
what
And
I
one
think.
thing, and
yeah, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry, let me just add one quote that,
Hmm.
that works in every sport, even in life. It's like when you're playing, don't play to lose, play to win. And I
Exactly.
Exactly.
feel like at
Yes.
times
Yes.
Pakistan always plays not to lose. We saw
Yeah.
that in that 2024 T20 World Cup game against India. Because
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
had that game in the bag. But again, when you're playing
Right.
not to lose, you're gonna lose. So I
Yes.
think India plays to win, Australia plays to win. Whereas other nations that are far behind in cricket, they play not to lose, which
Not to.
we've seen all throughout.
Vase, a
But
question for you. And you as well, Omkar. Are we missing an aggressive captain like Sarfraz? Like when we had Sarfraz, we kind of took him for granted because you saw during his leadership, cricket was flourishing in Pakistan. He was always with the aggressive mindset, the field placement, switching the bowlers around, switching the batting order here and there. Like I feel like he was very engaged and firing up his players. What do you guys think? Where Rizwan is kind of more like tame.
200%. And
yeah.
honestly, you always miss people when they're gone. So I remember when he was a captain, I used to watch and I used to be like, damn man, he's not scoring any runs.
Hmm.
He's a wicket keeper. He's against
Hmm.
the India match. Remember his
Yeah, yeah,
I think 2019 World Cup, he started yawning.
yeah,
And I was so
Yeah.
pissed at
Yeah.
the yawning. But then I saw an Australian player do it, just the other
Yeah.
week.
Hmm.
yeah.
So, I mean, now I look back and I was like, dude, he was a damn good captain, and you always miss people when they're gone. And
I
now I'm
agree.
Yeah.
looking back and I'm like, God damn, he was a really good captain, aggressive
Okay.
captain, and everybody played for him.
Yeah,
I was watching some interviews where he'd go in the dressing room and he'd be like, listen, you cannot lose, not only for the nation, but you can't lose because of me. Like, I really need to win this
Hmm.
match. You need to say it straight up. You know, that used to fire everybody up. If you look back at that 2017 Champions Trophy, I used to be, always saying, oh no, the fast bowlers, they're the reason we won. But he used to attack. If you remember that 2017 Champions Trophy final against India, he made Muhammad Amr bowl, I think within the power play. I think, he bowled like 4 or 5 overs within that power play. I
Yeah,
think
I
he
think he
bowled
bowled
like
like
5 overs.
6 on the trot.
So 6 yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he was with the mindset that we took early wickets. Let's kill and finish the game now. Don't let India get set. And I
Yeah.
think that's a
Hmm.
mindset that every captain after Surfraz has been lacking in Pakistan.
Yeah. See, I don't want to comment much, but I'll just bring this up. But do you think that there's some sort of politics going on in the team? Let's like Shaheen's camp, Babur's camp, Rizwan's camp,
100%.
right?
100%. There's always been grouping,
Yeah.
and it goes back to the like Shoaib Malik, Yunus Khan, Shahid Afridi days where
Hmm.
there's
Hmm.
always some diversions in the team. But
Right.
I think back then when they had those kind of senior players, they sometimes were able to put the beef aside and kind of rally together. Like you saw in
Hmm.
2009, this is a long time ago, but Yunus Khan was able to rally the troops and they won a
Right.
2020 World Cup. I just don't think they have a really senior player in the team right now. Like Babar is still on the younger side. Shaheen's young. Like they don't have like an actual leader like Sarfraz. So
Hmm.
there is going to be groupings in the team. Go ahead, Vase.
Right.
Yeah, and I think one other one other aspect is just the whole social media PR. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's literally insane, but it doesn't only happen on the Pakistan side, on the India side it happened too. So India was playing a test recently and Rohit Sharma got dropped, right? I think he dropped
Hmm.
himself or whatever. He said, you guys
Yeah.
don't have to play me. I think he dropped himself, right? Or
He
he told
apparently dropped himself. Yeah.
he
Yeah, I think he
apparently
dropped himself. Yeah.
right.
He
Okay, so
was
get
like
this.
family
Yeah,
time or something. Yeah.
no, he dropped himself because he was not performing at all, right?
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
go on social media and I'm on X and I see all these actresses tweeting and they've probably never watched an innings of cricket in their life.
Oh,
And
yeah,
they're
yeah.
tweeting at Rohit Sharma, what a selfless player you are, dropping yourself for the team, this, that. Then I'm like, this doesn't make any sense because nobody, at least in Pakistan, these actresses,
Hmm.
celebrities don't
Hmm.
watch cricket as is for the most part, especially Test cricket. They're
Yeah.
not they're
Yeah.
Yeah.
not interested. Then
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
find out that Rohit Sharma's wife has a PR agency, and some of those Bollywood actors that were tweeting
Oh,
are a
okay.
part of
Oh, okay. I
that
Of
didn't know
that
PR.
that
of
either.
that PR agency.
Then I'm
Okay.
like, okay. Then I'm
Yeah.
like, if this can happen in India, for
Uh-huh.
damn sure it happens in Pakistan because I see the same
Yeah.
damn tweets, the same videos. Like there's some
Uh-huh.
players who are scoring 20 runs and they have a highlight reel of those 20 runs, and I'm
Yeah.
Farid
thinking, like, man,
Khan.
so how many runs did he? Yeah, how many runs did he score? 100? And
Yo,
then you go and
Vase.
you see this
Farid Khan on X. Farid
Farid
Khan.
Yeah.
Khan, man, that guy is something else. But yeah, so I think this whole like PR, social media campaigning
Hmm.
completely,
Hmm.
is screwing over the Pakistan team, honestly, because they're
Yeah.
getting so much money from this too that they don't want to drop their spot. They want to make sure
Hmm.
they perform over the team. So it's a
Um,
horrible cycle.
let's
Like
move on. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
one point, like when I see the Indian team play, I think I see them as like one unit, 11 players, one unit. But the Pakistan team seems like 11 players individual play.
Facts, true.
That's what I see. And that's why maybe there is some politics, something going on
And
behind.
yeah,
So,
also just one quick question, Zaid, for you is you remember when Shaheen went to bat? So I saw a video of this. So Shaheen goes to bat against India, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I
Mhm.
then Kush still was on the opposite side.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Shaheen's walking in and Kush still tries to talk to him. And Shaheen completely rubs him
Ignores
off,
him.
like don't
Oh,
Oh
talk to
I
me,
man.
didn't.
ignores him.
Okay.
I
You
didn't
didn't see
see
that
that.
Yeah.
video?
No, I
I
didn't see
saw it
that
20
video.
times. Oh,
But
I saw it 20 times on my feed. Yeah.
okay, okay. But because you brought up Shaheen, I'm gonna bring up a thing. Do you remember when in the last T20 World Cup when Shaheen was watching his like own highlights package when he was batting in the United States
Against Team
game?
USA. Yeah,
Yeah.
he hit like three sixes and he was watching his own highlights.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I was like, bro, like what is going on? But anyway,
Yeah,
let's
yeah, Shaheen has some sort of attitude, and maybe it could be because now he's related to Shahid Afridi, right? So who knows?
yeah, I
But yeah.
guess. Let's move on to the other semifinal. We're not going to cover it too much, but it is going to be a good game. I think both teams are strong. New Zealand, South Africa.
Hmm.
Who do you guys think is winning that game and making it to the final? That game is happening at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore, Basse.
Okay.
Dude, honestly, it's tough for me. That match is a 50-50 because both South Africa and New Zealand have been playing now in Pakistan for the past month.
Hmm.
Um, my gut, I'm gonna go with New Zealand for that game. I just have a feeling, they just played India, they came off a loss, and it was a hard fought, match.
Hmm.
But I feel like New Zealand's gonna come out victorious. The thing with South Africa in these ICC tournaments, dude, it doesn't matter what format it is, they always choke. So
Choking.
Yeah,
yeah.
that is true. So is the Gaddafi? So that's a stadium suited for spin, right? I'm assuming
Correct, but it is a batting wicket. I mean, teams have been
it
scoring
is a
300
batting.
plus.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So that's a toss up, right? Because New Zealand has great spinners, right? Santner is there, even Rachin Ravindra. I was surprised.
Bracewell,
He's a,
yes.
he's a decent spinner, Bracewell. But then on the flip side, South Africa has great batsmen, right? I don't know, is Miller playing? I think Miller is there.
Miller,
Klaassen. Um, sorry, I think you cut off.
No, I think he's there. He's good now.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is there? Okay, okay, yeah. So yeah, I think definitely South Africa can give a good competition. So yeah, I would say 50-50.
50-50. Yeah, I think and
Yeah.
you made a great point. I think it's 50-50, but I think New Zealand is the one that's going to make the final because I think all around they just have a better team. Kane Williamson's experience, the young
Hmm.
guys like Rachin Ravindra,
Yeah.
Daryl Mitchell, and their
Hmm.
spinners, like you said, and the fast bowlers. Actually,
Oh,
Matt Henry, I
yeah.
think, is one of the better fast bowlers in the world right now. So I think they're gonna make the
Hmm.
final. Um, let's move on. We had one last thing on the agenda here. A lot of rumors going around on the Pakistan's next tour that's happening in New Zealand. They're leaving, I think next week. First game is in on March 15th. Vase, I don't know, have you
Hmm.
been seeing the stories on Twitter? What's been developing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure how true they are. I do see that, T20 captains going to our boy Shadab Khan. I think
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good player, but he's been out of form at least from what we saw, obviously, in the last, three ICC tournaments. Whether it was for ODI or T20, he was not performing well at all. Can't spin the ball. Even when he was out there to bat, because he is an all-rounder. I mean, some of the shots he was playing were just so stupid. But I mean, if he is a T20 captain, I have to support him, and I hope he does well because I think he does have a lot of talent, and he's an exceptional fielder as well, which is
Hmm.
one aspect of the
Hmm.
game which often gets overlooked with our team.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I do wish him the best. In regards to ODI, I'm not sure if they're going to keep Rizwan or not. I think they are.
I think they're gonna keep
Um,
Rizvan for ODIs, from what I've been
for
hearing.
ODI, yeah. I mean, again, dude, it's at the end of the day, it's not an ICC tournament. It was just playing,
Yes,
New
but
Zealand. So
what I've heard is
yeah,
so far they haven't decided on Shadab. They're leaning towards him, but from what
leaning.
I've heard
Okay.
is they've kind of narrowed it down with three options. They have Shadab, Salman Aliaga, and Muhammad Haris, who's been captaining Shaheens for the
Mm-hmm.
warm up matches and Pakistan A as well. So I think Shadab obviously I've been kind of talking about him a lot on these podcasts, kind of having him in the team. I don't think he should be captaining as soon as he comes in. I think he still has to earn his spot on the team with the performances. I do think I would lean towards Muhammad Haris or Aga to captain, as the Haris has been doing it for the Shaheens and Aga's experienced. I'm just happy that they're kind of moving on from Rizwan and Babar in the T20 team.
Yeah.
You got to give the young guys a shot. We have a World Cup coming up in 2026. The squad that they have
Mhm.
announced has a bunch of guys who are uncapped, and you just have to give them the chance. Like you see for India, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have retired from T20s.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we have to kind of groom the next generation here. So what do you
Hmm.
guys think about that? Like no Babar, no Rizwan, and I think no Shaheen, no Haris, and no Naseem as well.
So my input would be if things aren't working right now, right, then why not just build a new fort, right? Why not just try new people? And even if you lose, you have nothing to lose, right? Um, And if things haven't been working for the last 5 years with the same guys, literally the same guys have been playing almost all three formats for Pakistan, right?
Correct.
Shaheen, Haris, Babar, Rizwan. So if that's not working, let's try something new. And India does the same thing,
They
right?
do.
So
And that's
yeah,
the thing with
King.
India.
King is king, yeah.
That's the
King is
thing.
king,
That's the
yeah.
thing with India. Their
Yes,
depth is so good, right? I
yeah.
think right now, if we
Mm-hmm.
talk about it, if India brings their
Mm-hmm.
B team and Pakistan plays its A team right now,
Eight.
I think
Mm-hmm.
India's B team has a good chance of beating Pakistan's A team because they got guys like
Yeah, definitely.
Jaiswal, they got the guys like Sanju Samson,
Sanju Samson's a
they
dog,
have
bro.
like
Yeah.
guys like Avishek Sharma,
Tilak Verma. Tilak
Tilak
Verma. That guy's really
Verma.
good as well.
There's
Yeah.
another Rinku Singh. I mean, these guys
Oh,
are
Rinku
Rinku
Singh.
Singh's a
Yeah, yeah.
beast,
yeah,
bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
they have a
he's a
bunch of
match winner,
guys
I
that are
think.
like beasts and they're waiting. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they're
Yeah,
gonna
for their turn.
be unleashed in the 2026 T20 World Cup.
26 T20. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that's the thing with Pakistan. We have those beasts laying around. They're waiting. They're waiting for
Mm-hmm.
the chance,
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere.
man. I don't
There's
know.
somewhere,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw Irfan Khan Niazi dropped a little workout video. Dude's got some
Bro,
guns.
he
He's
looks
jacked.
yo.
Yeah,
He's
And he can
Jack.
play.
Okay, okay.
And he can bat. Great fielder. I
exactly.
think
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's his time to shine. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the 2026 World Cup though. No Hitman, no King Kohli. It's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be. But
It's gonna
India,
be kind of
India has
weird to
some.
watch, to be
It's gonna be
honest.
weird to watch you, but India
Yeah.
has some goddamn good players, dude.
They
So I mean,
do.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to see like their whole new batch come in, and
And
see how
and
they do.
and that you got to give credit to the IPL. I feel like they've really groomed these great players, and I think PSL can also do the same thing. But you have to choose new players. You got to choose players that do well in the PSL and take a chance on them. You can't just pick the same 6, 7 guys, even if someone does well in the PSL,
Yeah, we
Hmm.
right?
we've picked some guys from the PSL. Obviously, Haris Rauf is a PSL guy. Shaheen PSL.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Usman Khan.
Usman Khan. But I mean, we don't want to talk about him. I mean, we've gone off about him on the show a lot. But like everybody said, like you guys said, we're here for the
Hmm.
future. I want to see the young guys play.
Right.
Give them a chance. If we're
Hmm.
losing with the old guys, might as well bring in the
Then
new.
yeah,
Bigger than you, for sure.
like if you guys lose, you have no pressure. You can just say we tried new people,
Exactly.
and eventually, you guys will win with 5 years, 10 years, right?
I
So.
mean, we don't want to wait 5 years. We're trying to win some tournaments soon. I don't know if you guys have any more thoughts. If not, we'll wrap it up. Like I said, thank you guys for all the support. Thank you, Omkar, for hopping on, for providing us
Thank
that
you.
perspective from an Indian fan. We didn't have one yet on the show, so we appreciate you
Mhm.
on. Um, we've
Pull up the pull up the
yeah,
flag
pull up the
again.
flag one more time, man.
ये हमारा देश का झंडा है, भारत का झंडा है, और हम जीतेंगे, इंशाल्लाह हम जीतेंगे.
Oh, I like it. I
Wow,
like it.
wow.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
we
love it.
appreciate Vasa and I appreciate the support. We
Mhm.
started this off for fun. We hit like almost 4K views on our India Pakistan post match. Then we've hit almost 700 views on our last video. So we appreciate you guys,
Mhm.
the love, the support. Drop a like, drop a comment. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Peace.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Peace.